Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholes. This week we're going to bring you 3 stories from Nigeria, from Hausa Folklore. This first story it's a bit troubling, I'll be honest. This is how brothers and sisters first came to quarrel and hate each other. A story. This tale is about a maiden. A certain man had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and it was the girl he loved. Then one day their big brother went with them to the forest, telling them to come for sticks. And when they had reached the forest, he seized her, climbed a tree with her, and tied her onto the tree, and came and said, "The maiden has been lost in the forest," and said, "They did not see her, so they came home." They were weeping. Then their father asked them what had happened, and they said, "Our young sister, she was lost in the forest, and we did not see her. We searched until we were tired, but we did not see her." Then their father said, "It cannot be helped." Then one day traders came and were passing in the forest. She, the girl, heard their voices, and she sang and said, You who are carrying kola nuts, if you have come to the village on the hill, greet my big brother Halabau, greet my big brother Tankawaka, and greet my big brother Shadusa." When the traders heard this, they said that the birds were the cause of this singing. Then again she repeated the song. Then the leader of the caravan said he would go and see what it was doing, singing thus. So he went off and came across the maiden fastened to the tree, and he said, "Are you alive or dead?" And the maiden said, "Alive, alive." So the leader of the caravan himself climbed up the tree and untied her. Now long ago the caravan leader had wished for offspring, but he was childless. Then he said, "Where is the maiden from?" And the maiden said, "Our father begat us. We were 3, 2 boys by one mother, I also alone by my mother. Our father and mother loved me, but did not love my brothers. And because of that our big brother brought me here, deceiving me by saying we were going for sticks. He came with me here, tied me to a tree, and left me. Our father is a wealthy man, and because of that he, my brother, did this to me." Then the leader of the caravan said, "As for me, you have become my daughter." So the leader of the caravan took her home and nursed her till she recovered. She remained with him until she reached a marriageable age and grew into a maid whose like was nowhere. And whenever she was heard of, people came to look on her until a day when her elder brother reached manhood. He had not found a wife. Then he heard the report which said that a certain wealthy man had a daughter in such and such village, and in all the country there was not like her. Then he went to his father and said he had heard about the daughter of a certain wealthy man, and it was her he wished to marry. So his father gave him gifts, and he came to seek a wife in marriage. And Allah blessed his quest, and he found what he sought, and the maid was wedded to him. They came home, but when he would consummate their union, she would not give herself to him, and it was always thus. Only, when they all went off to the farms, she would lift her mortar and golden pestle which her father had given her, saying she was going to make fura cakes. And she poured the grain into the mortar of gold and pounded and sang, "Pound, pound mortar, father has become the father of my husband, alas for me. Mother has become the mother of my husband, alas my mortar." And so on till she had finished pounding. She was weeping and singing. Now, a certain old woman of the place heard what she was saying. It was always so until one day she told the mother of the girl's husband, and she said, "When you are all about to go to the farm, do you, mother of the husband, come out, give her grain, and bid her panfura, as you are going to the farm. When you get outside, steal away and come back, enter the house and remain silent and hear what she says." So the mother of the man came out, their father came out, the boys and the woman all came out, and said they were off to the farm. A little while after, the man's mother came back, and entered the hut and crouched down. Then the maiden lifted her mortar and her golden pestle. She was singing and saying, "Pound, pound, my mortar. Father has become my husband's father. Alas, my mortar. Mother has become my husband's mother. Alas for me." She was singing thus and shedding tears. The mother also was in the room and watching her until she had done all she had to do. When the people of the house who had gone to the farms came back, the mother did not say anything. When night came, she told her husband then. She said, "Such and such the maid did." The father said, "Could it possibly be the maid who was lost?" Then they said, "But if it is she, there is a certain mark on her back ever since she was an infant. She had been left in a house with a fire, and it had burned her." She was summoned. They adjured her by Allah and the Prophet, and said, "This man who gave you in marriage, is he your father, or were you given to him to be brought up only?" But the maiden refused to answer. Try as they could not get an answer. Then the father said, "Present your back, that I may see." She turned her back, and they saw the scar where the fire had burned her when she was an infant. Then they said, "Truly it is so. From the first, when you came, why did you refuse to tell us?" And they knew it was their daughter. And they sent to her foster father, the one who had found her, and he was told what had happened. And he said, "There is no harm done. I beg you, give me the maiden. If I have found another, I shall give her to him, the husband." But they, the girl's real father and mother, refused to consent to this. As for the husband, when he heard this, he took his quiver and bow. He went into the forest and hanged himself. He died, and this was the beginning of hatred among the children of one father by different mothers. That is all. Off with the rat's head. And that is the story of how brothers and sisters first came to quarrel and hate each other, from Hausa Folklore. My goodness, this story is just so fraught. And I'm glad at the end that the parents don't give the daughter back, but they keep her at home, and I assume love her. It is unsettling how the end is, though, isn't it? Suicide is never the answer. This is Dan Schulz for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As always, thank you so much for listening.